Hi, katzcradul here. I am surprised at the number of emails I have received recently from new preppers and people new to canning and new to preserving and new to food storage who have said to me, Katz, please start at the very beginning and don't assume that anything that you're going to try to teach us is too basic. So many people have no experience with canning or food preservation and really do want the basics. Well, I was getting ready to can this afternoon and I came up with an idea for a video that I hope will be very helpful to those folks, but even maybe for some of you old timers as well. When I get ready to can, I like to assemble everything together. I don't like to piecemeal stop and go get a piece of equipment. My big utensils, my ladles, my slotted spoons, my tongs, all that are in this utensil bucket that sits by my stove, or this little, I don't know what it's called, this little crock that sits by my stove. And so those are always right there. So those are very accessible to me. Those are not a problem. But there's a couple other things I like to have ready when I can, and I like to get it all out and ready at one time, and I like for it to be in one place. If I'm canning a lot of quart jars, then I prefer to have a big thick bath towel as opposed to just a regular dish towel that I have in my kitchen that's been folded double, because I like to be sure that I'm not going to accidentally set one of the jars onto the cold counter. So a bath towel is good for that. I don't keep bath towels in my kitchen, so I have to go get one out of our washroom or someplace else. I have to go get that. Then I also like to have a small dish to rest my spoon on, and that's usually all I have on that towel. Today I also have a spoon rest on there because I'm going to be using tongs and I don't want to open and close them. I'm going to leave them open, so one side of the tongs will rest on the small dish and one will rest in the spoon rest. I also have a ladle here because I'm canning squash, and I will need, after I fill the jars using the tongs with the squash, I'll also ladle out some of the hot liquid to fill the jars. Okay, now let's talk for a moment about all the other little things that you need when you're going to can. And these are the things I typically use. And I'm going to start at the top in the little green plastic jar. It's actually a shaker. But if I'm going to be canning fruit, I want some of this. And it is fruit fresh. And it is ascorbic acid, and it will keep your fruit from turning. I like to have that with me. The next thing, I've put in a little canning jar some pickling salt. That's what I always use when I can, as opposed to regular table salt that may have fillers in it and iodine as well. Then there is the red thing is a canning funnel. Right below that, the little black circular thing, that is the weight that goes on my pressure canner. Then the blue utensils from right to left is a magnetic wand that allows you to pick up the lids and rings that are in simmering water in order to put them on your hot jars. The next little tool with the angled top is a tool that will allow you to press the food down into the jar. It also will allow you to move the food in the jar slightly so that any air bubbles that are trapped can get out. I also like to have a measuring spoon. Measuring spoons are cheap. Buy yourself several sets because there's lots of great places to keep them, and with your canning accessories is one of them, because if I'm canning in quart jars, I need a teaspoon of salt, and if I am canning pint jars, I need a half teaspoon, but I can also measure that with my 1 teaspoon, just making it half full. I also have a jar lifter. That's the utensil with the yellow rubber there. I also have a couple of clean paper towels that are folded as well. I also like to have handy a couple of extra boxes of canning lids. I have a box of large mouth lids and a box of small mouth lids. So those are things I typically use almost every time I can, except for the fruit fresh that I only use when I'm canning fruit. Now here's what I've discovered. Every time I used to start a canning session, I'd go gather all these things together, and I'd dig through my utensil drawer to find the little magnetic wand, and I'd dig through to find the little thing that I extract the air bubbles about, and I'd go to a different cabinet to get the jar lifter and the canning funnel, and it was just a hassle. So for 99 cents, I bought one of these plastic shoe boxes. You could use a cardboard box, you could use a bowl, you could use whatever you want, but this is just handy for me. And I put it all in this little plastic shoe box. And when I get ready to can, I go to my kitchen cupboard where I keep it up on the top out of the way, and I pull it out, and I've got everything I need right there. I don't have to gather it up. When I use up my paper towels, I fold 2 more and put them in there at the end of my canning session so that when I'm ready to can, I'm good to go. I just have to pull it down and get started. Although I can year-round, the busiest part of my canning is over about the middle of September. Now, I'll can chicken when it goes on sale during the year, and I'll can citrus in January, that kind of thing. But the biggest part of my canning is done about mid-September. And when I'm ready to take a break mid-September, all I have to do is just lay down that little shaker jar of citric acid, and then I can put the lid on this box, the lid that came with it, and keep it nice and clean and sanitary all year round. And it's safely stored up there on my shelf. It's there whenever I need it, and I know that everything I need is there. I don't have to go searching for anything. Now, I want to share this with you because some of life's little surprises are the best. And today, when I was slicing my squash in order to can it, I looked down in my bowl and one of the rings turned out like this. This just occurred naturally in the squash. These 4 cute little hearts right there looking up at me, and I just had to share it with you. Remember that the best part of home canning is the love that you put in every jar. It says to your family that you care about what they eat, you care about their health, and that you love them enough to take the time to make great food for them. I hope this helps. Until next time, Cat's Cradle.